It's that time of year where everyone is giving their thoughts on the best films of 2024. And as much as I love these kind of videos and would love to talk about the dozens of films I saw that came out this year, I have 2 kids under 5 years old and I spend what little free time I have just trying to sleep or work on the channel. All that to say, I'm woefully behind on the films that came out this year. Sure, I saw several, but not near enough to have a clear top 10 list. But I did still watch a lot of movies in 2024 for the first time. They just didn't all come out in 2024. Some are classics I've been meaning to watch for years, or some are hidden gems that blew me away. They may not be new to you, but they were certainly new to me. And so here are the defining movie moments of 2024 for me. But first, let me thank the sponsor of this video, Aura. To put it simply, Aura is an online service that helps protect all your private information. Social security number, credit scores, banking information. The reason you're getting constantly bombarded by phishing texts and robocalls is because your information is being sold by data brokers, or it was included in a data breach of some larger company you're somehow tied to. These fraudulent calls, texts, and emails are incredibly annoying and potentially dangerous to your identity, finances, and personal information if you accidentally click on the wrong link. Aura scours the internet to find your information and helps remove it from the dark web and telemarketing and spam lists. It's all-in-one security for you and your family. But it also does a lot more than that. Aura can help protect your devices from malware and viruses, and it has a VPN so you can search the internet anonymously. I love VPNs for a number of reasons, but I really love how it helps open you up to other services and content from around the world. You also get access to a password manager, so the days of forgetting your passwords for every service are long gone. Stop leaving yourself vulnerable to data breaches. Click the link in the description or go to aura.com/elk to get a 14-day free trial and see if any of your data is currently exposed. Help protect yourself with Aura. Thanks to Aura for sponsoring this video, and now let's get back to the essay. Right out of the gate, I'm cheating a little bit because I'm getting 2 for the price of 1. On the surface, Harold and Maude and Thelma and Louise might not seem like they have a lot in common. Okay, both titles do have a similar structure, Harold and Maude, Thelma and Louise, and that emphasizes the most crucial relationship in their respective films. A 20-year-old obsessed with suicide, falling in love with an eccentric 79-year-old, 2 friends rebelling against the patriarchy, on the run from the law. And it's their ending scenes that stand out to me. Both have a car launching off a cliff. Thelma and Louise's reiterates their commitment to each other, determined to never give up and go back quietly.
You sure? Yeah.
One last drive towards freedom. Whereas Harold and Maude has an empty car launching off a cliff. Once obsessed with death and suicide, Harold now has a new perspective and appreciation on life. I've been a fan of Richard Curtis's writing for years. About Time, 4 Weddings and a Funeral, Pirate Radio, Love Actually. And so I wasn't surprised when I was absolutely delighted by Notting Hill. It has all of the similar trappings of Curtis's work, for better or worse. Male fantasies, amazing ensemble of oddball characters. There's a great dinner scene where all the friends are swapping sob stories in order to win the last brownie. It's the kind of sharp dialogue that Curtis is so adept at writing. But the one scene I keep coming back to is a moment where Hugh Grant's character, William Thacker, experiences an entire year in one continuous shot, just by walking down a street in Notting Hill.
Anytime she goes away.
Spring, summer, fall, and winter all bleed into each other, with nothing more than rain, leaves, and snow to cue us into what's happening. The concept is simple, yet very clever, a unique way of showing time passing by, and it's all executed to perfection. I love a good screwball comedy. The fast dialogue and bizarre situations, and if it's able to satirize and add a social commentary too, all the better. To Be or Not to Be takes place during the German occupation of Poland and deals with an acting troupe that gets swept up in efforts to track down a Nazi spy. You get your classic screwball moments of miscommunication, a combative romance, and multiple Hitlers. Anything and everything to mock Nazis. And the opening scene really launches you into this unique tone and world. You get what looks like Hitler walking down the street of Poland, and then you get a scene on stage where we realize that it's just an actor portraying Hitler.
Heil Hitler!
Heil myself.
That's not in the script, Mr. Brunsky.
But it'll get a laugh.
But I don't want to laugh here.
And the jokes just keep coming and coming in rapid succession.
That picture, that's what it should look like.
But that picture was taken of me.
Then the picture's wrong, too.
It's so clear that this film heavily influenced Mel Brooks, who would make The Producers 25 years later, and then produced and starred in the remake of To Be or Not to Be in 1983. But the power of the original is that it actually came out in 1942, during World War II, the height of Hitler's power, and just a few months into the USA's involvement into the war. The courage to take on a story like this, and to find humor with one of history's greatest monsters, makes To Be or Not to Be such a unique and memorable film.
Jump! Heil Hitler! Heil Hitler! Two very obliging fellows.
Alright, I'm cheating again and squeezing 2 movies into this spot. Last time, I swear. There were 2 great thrillers I watched in 2024 that stuck with me. Are they groundbreaking cinema? No. But they're expertly made films that know how to dole out suspense. First is The Friends of Eddie Coyle from 1973. They just don't make films like this anymore. That 70s pacing, grime, and attitude only works to enhance this story of crime. In a movie full of suspenseful moments, The Bank Robbery Gone Wrong stands out for its brutal and raw depiction of crime that is anything but flashy.
What did you do? I said, what did you do? You hit the alarm. I told you not to do it, and you did it.
A pleasant surprise in 2024 was the smaller thriller Rebel Ridge. Methodical and suspenseful in all the right ways, the highlight for me is when Terry starts to fight back against the forces that surround him, in this case, the corrupt police force of this small Louisiana town. During this face-to-face confrontation that might as well be out of a Western shoot-'em-up, we slowly realize that this police force fucked with the wrong guy.
Let's not do that.
This year, I finally got around to watching Haine. And thank God I did, because it's a brilliant movie full of amazing moments and shots that exude the same energy and enthusiasm as our trio of main characters. The taxi driver mirror scene with the body double, the dolly zoom on the Paris rooftops, the multiple mirrors in the bathroom, the breakdance, the split diopter. It's all incredible. But if I have to pick just one moment, it's the heartbreaking ending. It's a scene that shocks and surprises, while encapsulating the theme of the entire film that's brimming with rage, rebellion, and hate. I'm embarrassed to say that I only recently discovered the magic of Studio Ghibli. I've spent the past few years getting myself caught up on most everything, and so when Miyazaki's latest film, The Boy and the Heron, came out in 2023, I was so excited to watch what might end up being his last film. Now, it came out in 2023, but again, I didn't get around to it until 2024, and so here it is on my list. A story about a boy processing the death of his mother hit me hard, and in a movie that perfectly blends the bizarre with the beautiful, one scene really stuck out to me. Mahito descends further into this Narnia wonderland until he finds his aunt, but he can't fight the larger forces that are working against him. Forces that are stopping him from healing and getting back home.
I hate you! Just go! Leave!
The paper envelops them, pulling them further and further apart, and this mother figure embraces him, trying to help her son move on. I'm a Texas boy, and so it's almost a requirement to love the work of Richard Linklater. And I do, though I never watched his larger studio films from the 2000s. I like my Linklater as a writer and director, and a lot of those larger studio films just hired him out as a director to take on someone else's script. One of those was School of Rock, a film that's so beloved, and now I can see why. This is young, energetic Jack Black at his peak, and it's really only because of him and his unique magic that this movie works at all. An actual musician who can improv, with charisma bursting from his eyeballs. The special scenes are the ones where he gets to let all those talents loose. And my favorite is the scene where he introduces music into the classroom.
He shall be rocking in Masu. Stop. That's perfect. You're perfect. Stay right there.
And as each student takes to an instrument, you finally see their personalities start to come to life in a beautiful and heartfelt way.
Let's go!
Dune 2 is massive. The planet of Arrakis, the towering set pieces, and of course the giant sandworms. And director Denis Villeneuve manages to keep it all grounded by never losing sight of the characters and their personal journeys. As our main character, Paul Atreides has a fascinating journey of self-discovery, identity, fate, and redemption. And the most pivotal moment in the two films is when Paul has to ride a sandworm. It brings together his father's dream of desert power, it solidifies a relationship with the Fremen, and fulfills a prophecy that will alter power throughout the galaxy. This is the turning point of everything in the series, and everything from the sound design to the massive scale with the sandworm and Paul in the frame together makes this scene epic and memorable in every sense of the word. I didn't know what to expect when I started Amadeus, but it certainly wasn't that. An almost 3-hour period drama about Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, and it never drags for a single moment. Of course, there's the beautiful music and costumes, but it's really the two main characters that grab and demand your full attention. Mozart bursting with this volatile genius, and Salieri oozing awe, admiration, and intense jealousy. When the two characters are together on screen, it's always fireworks. And the best moment is at the very end. The moment that everything has been building to. Salieri finally in the presence of genius, collaborating with Mozart to help put his masterpiece to paper, with the thunderous music coming to life before our eyes and ears as they write.
Next measure's rising.
Salieri bleeds Mozart of every drop of genius he has left to give on his literal deathbed. And all at once it feels both triumphant and tragic.
Show me the whole thing from the beginning.
If you would have told me that my favorite movie of 2024 would be about a community of Danish Christians eating a meal together, I wouldn't have believed you. But Babette's Feast absolutely blew me away with its simplicity, sincerity, and elegance. In a nutshell, Babette's Feast is about two elderly sisters who lead a dwindling church congregation in their tiny Danish community in the 19th century, a community where the area, buildings, and people seem devoid of any light and color, all washed in blue and gray. Then Babette, a French refugee, arrives at their door, offering to work for free in exchange for housing. And after years and years of service, when Babette miraculously wins the French lottery and comes into a large sum of money, she decides to spend that money on importing and creating a fancy French feast for the sisters and their church congregation.
Jeg vil lave en fransk middag. En fransk middag.
En fransk middag?
I don't want to spoil too much, but I'm not joking when I say that the third act of this movie is more captivating and riveting than any movie I've seen in years. Yes, I'm cheating again and selecting the entire third act of this movie because it all practically serves as one large cohesive scene. There's something magical about watching an artist create a work of art. Through the entire scene, we watch as the pious members wrestle between indulgence and restraint. It's a scene that encompasses so much beauty, compassion, mercy, kindness, generosity, and joy.
Så bliver du altså fattig nu hele dit liv. En kunstner aldrig fattig.
And that's why it's my favorite movie moment of 2024. Thanks everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed this slightly different 2024 list. I'm thinking about making this a reoccurring thing, walking you guys through the movies that I watch in the year. It's just another reason why I love Letterboxd. It's a great way to track the movies you're watching, to remember. Otherwise, I would have had no idea what I watched in 2024. If you care to follow me on Letterboxd, I'll have a link below so you can go just track what I'm watching if that interests you at all. And feel free to leave a comment below. Tell me what was your favorite movie moment or just your favorite movie that you saw in 2024. Thanks again for watching. Before you go, just make sure you like it, share it with a friend, leave a comment below. Anything just to help appease the algorithm gods, to help motivate them to share this with more people. I'd really appreciate it. And I will see you all in the next video.